Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I drove past John Matteson's house just to confirm that he still lives there. You know, because the sheriff needs to have the correct address. But boy, was I tempted to just get out of that car and go knock on the door and introduce myself to the wife and kids, since, you know, clearly they were all there. I don't know, maybe someday I will. But in the meantime, yeah, I feel that maybe they should be aware of who it is that has a restraining order against him, so that maybe they can help keep him away from me. Yeah, John Matteson keeps claiming he has nothing to lose, and you know, maybe he doesn't, but it does seem that he would want to, you know, at least quit embarrassing his wife and kids. The kids may be adults, but that's not the point. The point is, you know, him and Linda Crosnoe are having way too much fun causing me grief and destroying my property, and I've never done anything to either one of them. So, yeah, maybe I'll introduce myself to the wife and kids. Maybe I'll just go ahead and just take down my fence and just let them, you know, go destroy something else. And I know the minute I go to undo my fence and put it in storage, first thing that's going to happen is Linda Crosnoe and John Matteson are going to come screaming at me, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" You know, but I didn't need their permission to install it. I definitely don't need their permission to remove it. But more importantly, if I remove it, they can't destroy it. And they can just sit in storage, and I can put it up at another time, right? Right. But, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I just know I got a restraining order, and they're still coming at me. Full force. It's been 7 years of pure torment and replacing fences and cameras and lighting and court dates. I got to find a way to make them leave me alone. Okay, I'm here at the police department, and I'm going to go let them know that I filed that paperwork, or not filed it yet, but it's in the mail, and that I will be subpoenaing one of them. I don't know, whoever wants to do it. And of course they can appear via Zoom if they want to, or court call it's called. But I want the judge to be able to tell the Simi Valley Police Department what exactly is deemed a violation of that restraining order, and their non-compliance to enforce that restraining order is not acceptable. All right, so I just left the court, or not the court, excuse me, the police department. And I let them know that I'm going to be subpoenaing them for the case. And I'm told, well, okay, don't forget now, it's going to be $275 to subpoena in a police officer. I'm like, you insist that I go into this courtroom to add one word again, and it's already cost me over $100 just to file all the paperwork. And now you're going to insist I also pay $275 for you to either appear at court call or Zoom or in person. And I'm the victim, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that one, but maybe I can just add it to court costs. I don't know. I just know that I'd like to see this woman actually get a $50 citation after all this. Today's date is September 27th, and I'm just going to show the current state of violations here. Clearly within that 10-inch mark, and it accompanies the video of John coming up here and touching my fence and everything, and attaching all this to it. And again, the lion is hiding the marker, so we need to lift that lion to show everybody. That's my post, and that's also where you saw Linda coming in here. So, yeah, that's what's left of my wooden fence that they're trying to remove. So today I'm going to remove all of this, my faux retaining wall that I created. And eventually, yeah, we'll just go ahead and remove this fence too. But as you can see, clearly violating the restraining order, he busted my thing here, as you can see. This is the property line marker. It should be actually further down that way. We'll deal with that in a minute. But yeah, completely all the posts hammered into our property. And what's left of my retaining wall here, so I am going to remove everything here to give a better picture. And then we're going to remove this fence. Yes, I'm going to remove my faux retaining wall just to show exactly how much damage she has done to my fence and the removal of my retaining wall. Yeah, a daily attack by the Crosnoe Circus clowns. You know, I'm going to go ahead and remove my faux retaining wall just to expose what exactly damage Crosnoe and Matteson have done and reveal that, yeah, there is no retaining wall there. And in time, I guess, you know, maybe it's in my best interest to just go ahead and disconnect the fence and put it in storage and then just let her, I guess, do whatever she's going to do. But, and Matteson too. But, yeah. There's tons of yard work that needs to be done. Clearly that's not yard work. Okay, maybe some Halloween decorations is going to be the excuse. But it's just the excuse. They said there's no reason all those posts and everything should be on my retaining wall where it used to be or on my property, because I have 5 years to determine if I want to move my fence back to the original property line. I brought it in by 10 inches because there was no retaining wall. So, yeah, 4 fences, 7 years. Now she's working on fence number 5. And the violation, you know, contempt of court, the judge was clear on telling them what they can and cannot do. And clearly, they have no regard for any type of boundary. All right, I'm going to get back outside, start removing my faux retaining wall, you know, section by section. It could take a while, but I bet you Crosnoe and or Matteson will make a stink about it. All right, progress so far. It's a little progress. It's going to definitely take a while. But as you can clearly see, my retaining wall is completely gone. It moved all the way up to here. He said she's going after this next, but and now I'm going to have to put up with her trash coming over here every day again. But I definitely need to keep this area clear. And got to do it before I can remove this anyway. And there's the tarp, whatever, ground cover they attached up to my fence here. But clearly, you know, and they busted this one also. Trying to extend their 10-inch, I guess, reach, I guess. But, so yeah, stole that marker. Got one underneath the lion here. And the one back there that I found. I'm sure there's more, but this is what I'm seeing right now. But, yeah. See? No retaining wall.
She must have just did it.
Yes, I'm removing all my stuff.
Don't even listen to her because they already told me that
You
take out your phone and
see, you broke all this.
and if she's got a problem, she could call the police.
That's right.
No, just tell her to call the cops. I don't want to do this, John. I'm not even going to talk
Thank you
to her.
for destroying our fence.
It's my fence.
I'm not even going to talk to her.
It's my fence. As contempt. She's having a contempt, and so is John screaming, I destroyed her fucking fence. It's my fence, and I can remove it if I want to. All right. It's only taken me about 7 hours, but I managed to clear out all this, all along this part here. Still got more to do tomorrow, but yeah, quite the weekend project, huh? But got to do this before we can remove the fence. Yeah, scumbags hate it when you preempt them from doing something to you. There's Linda Crosnoe out there with her camera going, she destroyed our fence. It's not our fence. Nothing about it is our fence. It's 100% my fence. And so yeah, she's just taking a bunch of pictures of it, and I guess, putting up another sign in my area telling me to stay away. Yeah, typical scumbag. I do find it quite funny, actually, that, you know, criminals and scumbags, whatever, just mean people, bad people, people who clearly don't want to be a nice person, right? They want to cause you grief for whatever reason. So yeah, they tend to get upset when you lock up your shit, when you take proactive measures in protecting your stuff. And, you know, they keep saying, well, call the police, call the police. Well, you know, sometimes I don't need to call the police. I keep forgetting. I'm pretty good at handling my own issues sometimes. And, well, as the saying goes, be careful who you fuck over, because some of us fuck back. Right? Yeah. And at this point in time, yeah, I'm just going to keep being proactive in protecting that fence. I'm going to remove the rest of the wall that I created to protect this side. But yeah, if I go to take down that fence, then, you know, I feel she might end up having to put up her own fence on her own property, because it's not my responsibility, and I'm not required by law to provide her with privacy. She had privacy for the last 7 years, and she destroyed every single wooden fence I installed. And then she started bitching about the wrought iron fence. So, you know, again, she's not focused on the fence. Her and John Matteson are, like, just focused on causing me grief, causing me all kinds of stress, basically, costing me thousands of dollars. And they get upset, I've noticed, when I somehow kind of stop them with my own actions. So, yeah. John and Linda are out there right now talking about how they're going to cause me more grief. And, like I said, I'm just going to let them do it, and every time they do something, I'm going to remove something else. And maybe that'll help. Maybe not. Maybe, you know, that'll just make him more angry. I don't know. I just know that they're definitely not doing any yard work, which is what the restraining order says. They're only allowed to access up to 10 inches to the fence to do yard work. And there's plenty of yard work that needs to be done out front that the city wants them to do, and they haven't done it. So, yeah, they're definitely not focused on improving their domain area or whatever. They're just focused on my fence. Yeah, and currently right now, the city does want Linda Crosnoe to clear out that whole front yard area, and she's currently going to all the local churches again to pray, and I don't mean pray, but to P-R-E-Y, pray on the goodness of others. And she doesn't bring John with her because she's just a poor little lady who can't do yard work and she needs help. And they feel sorry for her, of course, right? And so, yeah. Why use John to do yard work when you can use him to destroy my property? One of these days I am going to introduce myself to his wife because she needs to tell him to leave me alone. I'll remove all those tomorrow. Okay, today's date, September 29th, and this is the progress I've made, removing all the weeds. And of course now you can clearly see what's left of my retaining wall, which isn't much. And the clear violation of them touching the fence, leaning things against the fence inside that 10-inch area. And of course, now she has Matteson, I guess, putting up this wrought iron fence over here. They're going to try and attach it to mine, which ain't going to happen because we're going to take down our fence before that happens. But clearly, just to show the fact that he's not a qualified contractor on any level, he's only using bricks to hold up that fence so it doesn't fall down. He did not cement it and dig the holes on her own property and put the cement in like we did. So yeah, clearly not a qualified person to be doing contracting. And yeah, as you can see, that's the yard. So clearly they're not accessing this fence to do yard work. They haven't done any yard work here. They've just done destruction of my property. Again, it is September the 29th, and I'm walking towards my gate here. And as you can see, all these posts that are clearly within that 10-inch, they shouldn't be in there. You said they couldn't come within 10 inches, couldn't have any contact with my fence whatsoever. Couldn't even lay a broom against it. So, and here you can see they, like I said, been breaking my markers, all of them. There is no retaining wall here. This is where Matteson, you saw in video, removing it. And they got other, I guess, stuff they're sticking in there. And of course, just laying trash all along it. I removed all this barrier so you can have a clear view of what is actually happening along this fence. And yeah, as you can see, no retaining wall. You still got to remove those. Oh yeah, and ladders higher than the fence, which is currently now 10 feet high. That lion right there, yeah. She's still using it to conceal my marker, but you can easily lift it up and see it plain as day. Yeah, see, that's where my retaining wall is supposed to be. And he's removed this much of it, all the way around the post even. And clearly, he said can't stick anything under the fence, but there you go. Alright, so I cleared out most of the weeds and removed my faux retaining wall so you can see what used to be my retaining wall and what's left of it. Compliments of Linda Crosnoe and John Matteson. But yeah, they still can't do any yard work. You just never know which clown you'll see or what act you'll get to entail when you go to the Crosnoe Circus.